Thank you, Casey, for having us join you in Santa Cruz today. It's delightful. Thank you, Treasurer Ma, for having us be part of your webinar today. We really appreciate starting the week off by addressing small businesses and take the opportunity to talk about our CalCAP for Small Business program and how it can assist small businesses. Next slide, please. Why is the CalCAP, or why is the California Pollution Control Financing Authority in the business of small business? That's kind of the $1-million question these days. The California Pollution Control Financing Authority, which is chaired by State Treasurer Fiona Ma, was initiated to issue bonds for the purposes of stimulating the economy by doing environmental cleanup and creating jobs through the issuance of tax-exempt bonds. We've expanded our authority to now participate in offering credit enhancements and loans and grants. As I mentioned, we were originated as a conduit issuer of tax-exempt pollution control financing bonds. From there, we used the fees that we got from our bond issuance and have initiated some programs to help small businesses through our Small Business Assistance Fund. We started by providing incentives to small businesses that issue waste and recycling type bond projects. These your waste companies that pick up your trash and the recycling companies. We offer the small businesses an opportunity to offset the cost of issuing these bonds by helping to cover the cost of issuance. That's through our tax-exempt bond program. Then next we created in 1994 our CalCAP program, our California Capital Access Program, which is what I'm focusing on today. And we've established this program as a loan loss reserve program that is where we establish loan loss reserve accounts for participating lenders in our program. Then from there, we also have a Cal Reuse program where we have provided grant and loan funding for the assessment and remediation of brownfield sites in California. Next slide. Our CalCAP program list. Under our CalCAP umbrella, we have our main staples are our CalCAP for Small Business program. This is often most of the borrowers in this program use the capital to fund working capital, startup costs, and other typical credit needs, including the construction or renovation of buildings. In this time, they might use it for having to help pay their employees or get the inventory they need to help cover their changing inventory needs. We also have a collateral support program. The collateral support program is a little different than our small business program. It's not really the loan loss reserve type program I mentioned before, but this program is for businesses who have strong credit but might lack the sufficient capital they need to get the type of funding they need for their businesses. This program is often used for bridge loans. If a business is waiting from a loan from the SBA or from a local government, they might use the collateral support program for that purpose. We also have the CalCAP Air Resources Board on-road heavy-duty vehicle air quality program. And I know that's a mouthful, but we call it the CalCAP CARB program. And this is for small fleet owners that need to finance trucks to be compliant with the California engine emission standards. We work in tandem with CARB, the California Air Resources Board, in order to provide truck owners those clean trucks to get our, we're relying a lot on our truck drivers right now to get us what we need, and we're seeing a lot of loans in this program. Our CalCAP, we have another program, the CalCAP Electric Vehicle Charging Station program, which helps small businesses. We provide an incentive for small businesses and lenders to finance new electric vehicle charging stations so that borrowers can provide their customers or their employees with the opportunity to have electric vehicles that can be able to charge during their work time or while they're running errands. we have a rebate component to that. That program is a little bit different than the others. We do have a rebate component. So if the borrower has been in good standing for 48 months, they're then able to get a rebate at the close of the loan. We have a program to help California businesses become ADA compliant. That's our CalCAP for ADA program. Then we have a program to help property owners, both small businesses and property owners, seismically retrofit their properties so that should there be an earthquake or a seismic event, their buildings can better withstand the earthquake. Today I'm going to focus on the CalCAP. Next slide. I'm gonna focus more on the CalCAP for Small Business program and the Collateral Support program, but I did want to provide you an overview of the number of loans that we've provided since the program was in existence. The CalCAP for Small Business program, we provided over 22,000 loans for loans totaling over $1.8 billion. The Collateral Support, you can see, these tend to be larger loans. The CalCAP for Small Business program, we have a lot of loans that we call microloans, and they're under $40,000. The Collateral Support, they tend to be larger in nature. That's why we have 288. Lenders have lent nearly $80 million in that program since 2013. Our CARB Truck Loan Assistance Program, which I mentioned earlier, we've had credit, and there's been more than 26,000 loans enrolled in that program for over $1.7 billion in loans. Then in our CalCAP electric vehicle charging station program, today, as of the end of last year, we had 2 loans enrolled. We have 1 more coming in that one. And then in our seismic safety program, it's a newer program, and we've had just 3 loans enrolled in that program. Next slide. It's really important. We've always been, our business has always been to work with lenders. We have a list of participating lenders that we work with. We work with enrolling new lenders all the time, but we're kind of changing the way that we've done things in the past. Our focus has been oftentimes on our lenders, but we're really encouraging small businesses to reach out to our participating lenders. And I put a snapshot here of our lender page where we have our lender contact list. This is really a good starting point for small businesses. And I've got the links here for each of these links goes to our participating lender list for that specific program. Next slide. So for the CalCAP for Small Business program, to give you an overview of that, those loans, as I mentioned earlier, generally support loans made to small businesses, including startups and nonprofits, by facilitating private loans for startup, expansion, working capital. We often see loans for land acquisition, working capital, if people are wanting to work with state contractors. We get a lot of food truck loans in that program, which, again, I'm seeing a lot of interest in food trucks needing loans right now too, and construction and renovation of buildings, equipment, and inventory purchases. The maximum loan amount for the CalCAP for Small Business program is $5 million. That's the maximum loan amount. The maximum that can be enrolled in our program for coverage, for loan loss coverage, is $2.5 million. The participating lenders sent the terms and conditions on all the loans pursuant to their usual prudent underwriting standards. And these loans can be short-term or long-term. They can have a fixed or variable rates, and they can bear any type of amortization. We really encourage our lenders to work individually with each of the borrowers to make sure that they can get the borrower the best loan that they can possibly give. Next slide. Our collateral support program, as I mentioned, is a little bit different, and we tend to see larger loans in this program, but encourages loans and other financial institutions to make loans to small businesses by pledging cash to cover the collateral shortfall of the loan in order to enable the financing that might not otherwise be able to take place for the small business. Again, as I mentioned earlier, we see startup costs, franchise fees. We see a lot of bridge loans in this program. It's a good opportunity if somebody's waiting for an SBA loan to come through, that they can use the collateral support to help them bridge the need for that financing. Next slide. The collateral support program, it's a $50,000 minimum and a $20 million maximum, which I mentioned, they tend to be larger loans. The extra, we provide extra cash support is available for green financing and manufacturing loans, and smaller loans between $50,000 and $250,000, and loans to businesses in severely affected communities, which I'll get into in a minute. We have a $2.5 million maximum collateral support per loan and borrower. Next slide. What we are doing to offset the COVID-19 and help small businesses that are directly impacted by COVID-19 is we are offering a supplemental contribution. Businesses that we have that they get an extra bump for being in a severely affected community, might be on their economic, what their unemployment rate is in that area is how we generally determine it. But now we've expanded that to make a supplemental contribution into the loan loss reserve for businesses that are affected by COVID-19. And we have a form that's a very simple form for the borrower and the lender to fill out that indicates that they've been affected by COVID-19, and we will then add a supplemental contribution into the lender's loan loss reserve. Whereas before it was based on the economically distressed geographic area, now we're doing it for COVID-19 impacts. Next slide. Our contact information, we're here for you. I gave you the lender contact information before, the list of lenders. I'm the Deputy Executive Director. Doreen Smith is our CalCAP Program Manager. And we have a bond program, which I mentioned early on too, that is there for small businesses that may need to issue bonds for their pollution control projects, recycling projects. Deanna Hamlin is our manager of that program, and I provided her contact information here. Now we can see if there's questions.
Janie, I think you wowed the audience to no questions. You're so thorough with the information. If anybody does have questions, on the up on the screen is the contact information, both email addresses and phone numbers. And down in the chat box, if you look at it, is the actual link to the website.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and any emails that we receive, we're trying to answer within, we have 2 staff members that are dedicated to reaching out to small business and talking with them. I know there's a lot of, the lenders are getting a lot of calls right now across the board, and I know there can be frustration, there can be, you know, it's hard to be patient right now, and we're doing what we can to help the businesses that call us get in touch with our lenders. So don't hesitate to reach out to me or the other managers, and we'll do what we can to get you in touch with one of our lenders.
Well, Janie, thank you so much, and I'll give you the opportunity to introduce our last speaker.